What is up, my friends? Welcome to my channel, Action Investor here. Hope you guys are having a great day. And as you can see, here's my portfolio, $339,883.13. And currently, as you can see here, I do have a very large cash position here, over $200,000 in cash. The reason that cash is sitting there is because my shares of VTI, 800 shares, were called away from me at a strike price of $265. And so, yes, on Friday, the price of VTI was hovering above 268 and some change. So, yes, my shares were called away from me on Friday at a strike price of 265. Now, when my shares were sold off at 265, keep in mind the actual price was 268 and some change. So I did lose a little bit of upside, or I capped my upside, just like a lot of these YEILDMAX ETFs. But since I'm the one who is selling the covered call, I'm the one in control of it. I made $2,000 to sell the call, and then I made an extra $1,800 when my shares were sold for $265. So in total, I made $3,800. So it was a pretty good amount of money, a good profit. So I'm pleased with it because although I didn't get all of that upside, I did make over $3,000. I calculated the gains of the person on the other end of the contract. That person, that person made their $2,000 back. So the $2,000 they paid me, they made that back, plus an extra $600. So in reality, it didn't turn out that great for the person on the other end of the contract. So on VTI, selling my own contracts, I decide what the strike price is. I decide how far out of the money I want to sell the call at. So I make all those decisions. Unlike the YEILDMAX ETFs, you're paying someone else to make those decisions for you. And so far on a lot of these ETFs, I mean, they've done a great job selling these calls, right? Because I'm going to make at least over $1,000 on AMZY, which has been performing really great. It's um, um it's not too far off from my average cost at $22.39. So shout out to the AMZY Army, shout out to Oracle and YieldMax TV. He came up with this idea. As a matter of fact, he's the one who looked into AMZY, and he selected AMZY, and it's a really great ETF. It's a good selection. It's probably one of the best, most I guess doesn't have a lot of volatility. It kind of stays stable within this range. It's been staying within this range for quite some time now. So it doesn't seem as volatile. And even after they pay the dividend, it seems to always bounce back. And so it's a great ETF. And yeah, I'm just waiting. The following month, I'm going to start getting all these um, dividends from YieldMax, pretty much at the beginning of July. And so yeah, as you guys can see, if we go to dividends right now, even though I have a large position in cash, over $200,000, let's look at the dividends. Am I still making a pretty good amount of dividends? Let's go over there, dividends. As you guys can see, my annual dividend income has been reduced to $58,000 because uh, it did include dividends from VTI. Now, VTI only pays a quarterly dividend, while all of the other ETFs that I own pay monthly dividends. But it did bump it up to over $60,000 when I owned VTI. And so I no longer own VTI. So it has come down. The estimate for the annual income here is $58,000, over $58,000. Fairly close to $5,000 a month. So although there's a bunch of cash that's just sitting here, still gonna make fairly close to $5,000 a month. And so my new plan for this cash is to day trade VTI. So if we go to VTI, okay. Now, someone in the comments, I don't remember who it was, but someone in the comments said that I should just get rid of VTI. Like, just get rid of it. Don't even buy it anymore. Don't use it. Why do you own it? Okay, so I've explained this in other videos why I own VTI. So while a lot of other ETFs may be headed in a direction that's not very great, VTI for the most part always tends to go up and to the right. So if you look at the maximum history of VTI, up and to the right. And so that's why I was selling covered calls on VTI, because I know where it's headed. It's headed up and to the right. It's got a long history. It's very predictable, as I've mentioned before. You can fairly easily predict where VTI is headed because it is the total stock market. And so, but now I'm going to start selling. I'm going to start day trading this. Okay. As a matter of fact, I already started on Monday. I started day trading VTI, profited $500. Okay. $500 on Monday by day trading VTI. Today, I made $600 on VTI. Okay. So in 2 days, it's $1,000 in profits. So by selling covered calls, I was trying to constantly average $2,000 a month. But now, just in between Monday and today, $500 on Monday, $600 today. I mean, I'm already over $1,000. So hopefully tomorrow, make another $500 or as much as I can. I always try to make as much as I can. So I'm always trying to buy VTI in these little dips here and then trying to sell it on these tops. Okay. And so when I buy down here, I try to obviously buy it as low as possible. Sometimes I don't buy as low as possible, but I try to always buy it as low as possible and sell it for as high as possible. One of the other things that I do is I usually, for the most part, I usually try to sell it immediately. For example, my best trade of today was at two. It was right in here, basically, 267 and 83 cents. I bought 800 shares at this price. Although it did go down further, I saw it go down further, and I bought 800. I'm only going to buy 800 shares. I'm only going to trade 800 shares at a time. Keep in mind, I am using $100,000 worth of margin to make these trades. So this was one of my best trades. Bought it at 267 and 83 cents. It did drop down to 267 and 56 cents. But then later on, it started to pump. Started to pump. I sold right I sold it right about here. Okay. And I profited $188 in a matter of minutes by pushing a few buttons here. Okay, so this is really easy money to make here by buying at the right time and selling at the right time. Buying low and selling high. And so that's what I'm going to start doing for the following week. You got to always keep track also of the numbers. You got to keep track of the numbers when you're day trading. Are you making money? As a matter of fact, you got to keep track of the number, okay? When you look at your numbers on your portfolio or in your bank account, are the numbers going up or are the numbers going down? Is it increasing or is it decreasing? Is your net worth higher or is your net worth lower? Okay? You got to know your numbers. You got to know your net worth. You got to add it up. You got to calculate it. Are you making more money or are you not making more money? What is working? What is not working? Is day trading working for you? Is it not working? Now, I would not day trade a single stock. Okay? I'm not day trading a single stock. The reason I don't day trade a single stock is because I can't really tell where it's going. So for example, VTI, as I've mentioned, as I just said a moment ago, I know where VTI is headed. VTI is going up and to the right. And so if I can buy it in these little dips and then sell it at these peaks, I mean, even a small movement with 800 shares, um, a, for example, a 10-cent movement, right? It doesn't sound like much. I mean, what, you're going to make 10 cents? No, if it moves 10 cents, if it drops by 10 cents, I buy it and then it goes up 10 cents. Well, then guess what? I just made $80 in profits in a matter of minutes by pushing a button, by pushing the buy button and then pushing the sell button. Okay. So in a matter of minutes, you make easy money by simply buying and selling this. In the larger quantity of shares you have, well, the more money you make. And so when I first started out, I immediately started to day trade. And yes, at the beginning, I made big mistakes and I lost money. The reason I lost money is because I decided to day trade a single stock. For example, let's look at a stock. Let's look at uh, let's look at Microsoft, I guess, since it's right there at the top. Look at the 1-year track record. Look at the 5-year. Okay. Well, the thing is that this one looks like VTI. If you look at it, it looks like VTI. It looks like it's always headed up and to the right. But I don't know what it's going to do exactly. It may continue to head that way. Maybe, but I don't trade a single stock. Okay, I trade VTI. I trade an index. So now let's look at Tesla. So if we look at Tesla here, a lot of volatility, a lot of very high peaks, a lot of low valleys. Back here where it's at the very end, over here, where's it headed to? I don't know. Is it going to pump again? Is it going to drop more? I have no idea where this is headed. I can't tell where it's going. So if I can't tell where it's going, then yeah, I'm not going to trade it. I'm not going to try to trade this. VTI is fairly simple to day trade with. And if the trade goes against you in VTI, one rule is like, well, okay, if the trade goes against me and I buy it because I think it's a low price and all of a sudden it tanks and tanks and tanks, what do? Right? I don't do anything. If the price goes against me, I bought it for a certain price and then the price starts to tank and go against me, then I don't do anything. I wait. I wait till the end of the day, and if it hasn't recovered, I'll wait till tomorrow. If it hasn't recovered by tomorrow, wait for the next day. If it takes a week, if it takes a month, I don't care. It will recover eventually. Eventually, it will once again recover the price and will once again go above my average cost, and I'll sell it for a profit, right? One of the first rules that, for example, Warren Buffett talks about is don't lose money. The first rule of investing is don't lose money. And the second rule is don't forget the first rule, right? Don't lose money. That's because when you're day trading, and if you're day trading BTI like I am, the whole point of it is to extract as much money as possible, to get as much money out of it as possible. 1 trade, 2 trades, 3 trades, 4 trades, as many trades as you can make and being as profitable as possible. When I started day trading VTI, I was making just a few bucks per trade because I wasn't able to buy that many shares. Okay. And so on Robinhood, to be able to day trade, you got to have cash. You got to have that money. As a matter of fact, you need to have $25,000 of cash to be able to day trade. Otherwise, if you day trade and you don't have $25,000 of cash to day trade with, you'll be considered a pattern day trader. And then you may get, it happened to me where I was day trading with under the threshold of day trading, which is $25,000. And so they called me out as a pattern day trader. And so when you don't have that amount of money that you're supposed to have to day trade with, then they actually kind of lock up your account for a few days. So they won't let you trade for a few days. And so yeah, I started day trading when I had like $10,000. And yeah, I wasn't able to really do it. There is kind of a way to do it where like you have, when you have a smaller amount of money, what you have to do is you have to swing trade. You can't trade on the same day. And I believe you only are able to trade 3 times per week. So you really have to be strategic with your trades. And so that's what I did. I was strategic with my trades. I traded an index, VTI, and I didn't trade as often, maybe once or twice a week. And slowly but surely, you begin to grow your portfolio, or you begin to grow the amount of money you have in your account. Another thing that ends up happening is when you watch this green line, right? When it's in the green, obviously it's increasing in value. When it's in the red, it's dropping in value. So when you're looking at that line, and when it's I don't know what they call it, but when it's being, I guess, created or made, when the line is in movement, you start to learn because you're watching it, and so you start to learn kind of like the little movements of this line, and you can almost anticipate what it's going to do next. You can somewhat anticipate what it's going to do next because you've been watching this thing for a very long time. So I've been watching this line here day after day after day after day. So you kind of almost begin to anticipate what its next move is. You can almost tell that, okay, no, it's gonna crash right now, or it's gonna go into the red, or it's gonna go green, right? And so because you're looking at it, and because you're constantly watching it and you're day trading, you begin to kind of see what it's gonna do depending on what shape or movement the line makes. Okay. Now, there is a statistic out there that says that 90% of day traders lose money, or 90% of day traders lose. So I guess there's only a 10% amount of day traders who actually are profitable or make money. But the deal is that if you buy it and it goes into the red and you're in the negative, why would you sell it? If you buy for a high price and because you think it's going to go up higher, okay? For example, let's say that you bought up here at this peak right here, 268.49, and then all of a sudden it just dumps, and then it doesn't recover here, and all of a sudden it dumps way down to here. So if you bought it here and it's dumping all the way down to here, I mean, yeah, you're at a loss. So if you bought it here and you sell it here because, oh man, this thing's going to crash even further, right? You're going to lose. You're going to lose money. Right? But soon after, I mean, it recovered. As a matter of fact, it surpassed this price. If you look up here, it surpassed that price by quite a bit. So it's like also a patience game. You got to be patient. And you don't sell for a loss. You hold on to it. I've been down thousands of dollars on VTI. But then it's recovered. it seems to always recover. So that's why I've chosen VTI to be able to day trade. And so that's what I'm going to be doing going forward. I'm going to be day trading anywhere in between 800 to 1,000 shares. More than likely, it's going to be 800 because I don't want to surpass a certain threshold of margin that I'm using. I want to only use about $100,000 worth of margin. Now, that's not all the margin that is available to me. I could use even more margin. But I think trading with a little bit over $200,000 is fairly good. You know, trading 800 shares of VTI and extracting the cash and making those profits. Okay, so if you're starting with a smaller amount of money, it's a lot more difficult to try to extract cash from day trading. So you need to pile up that money. Not financial advice, but if your thought is, when you start doing this and you start learning about the stock market, at first you may make some mistakes, but then eventually you start figuring it out. You start figuring it out because there's people who are day trading, right? There's people who are hired by large financial firms and, oh, you're a good trader. That's what you're going to do. You're going to day trade. You're going to day trade this money for us and you're going to earn a percentage of whatever profits you make. There are people who are just professional options traders, right? And they're doing options. They're trading options. That's all they're doing. Just like the YEILDMAX guys. All they're doing is trading options. But they're not. The people who work for large financial firms, they're not trading options for the general public. They're trading options for the company. They're trading options for them, right? For the big financial institutions. They're trading options for them. The guys who are trading, day trading, they're trading for them, right? And so there's a way to learn how to do it and extract the cash out of this money machine. And then you can take that money and buy some of these YEILDMAX ETFs, AMZY, probably one of the best ones. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I've already made $1,000, and so I'm just going to look for an opportunity. Probably when AMZY goes ex-dividend, I'm going to buy $1,000 worth. That's what I'm thinking of doing. And so all the proceeds, all the profits from day trading, I'm going to be throwing that probably into AMZY or some other one of these ETFs, but more than likely into AMZY because it seems to be the most stable one so far. And so that should boost up my dividends. And yeah. So thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I really would appreciate it if you did that. Also, if you guys want any free stocks, there's a link in the description below. Robinhood will give you up to $200 worth of free stocks if you sign up using my link. Thank you so much. You guys have a great day. God bless. Talk to you in the next one.